It's time for a close analysis of the K-pop scene. March has been and is a promising month for K-pop lovers with lots of exciting releases and comebacks, especially solo artists who are stealing the spotlight with their own unique charms that grab the attention of fans worldwide. Let's delve deeper into the latest K-pop solo action by connecting with Jeff Benjamin, a K-pop expert and contributor to Billboard, Forbes, Rolling Stone, and more. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey guys, good to see you.
Good to see you. So Jeff, first off, how have you been lately?
Oh, it's been good. It's been a busy month. I'm getting ready actually to launch my new newsletter platform, which is all about focusing on K-pop and its expansion into America. So it's called The Crossover and it's launching this month. So I'm really excited to kind of show different sides of this industry, and hopefully everyone will subscribe and read it as it comes out very soon.
Great to hear that, Jeff. And now, how have K-pop solo artists been doing lately? We've seen lots of top-tier artists' releases in the past weeks, and is there a specific reason for this timing?
You know, it's a really good question. I always feel like the top of the year is maybe the time when a lot of K-pop companies choose to, more so experiment with maybe some of their solo artists rather than going to some of the bigger groups that they're more well known for. But also, I think very specifically, we're seeing the BLACKPINK members and the BTS members get to put out some really exciting solo projects because we know that their comebacks are inevitably happening probably around the summertime or by the second half of the year. So naturally, artists like Jennie, like we're seeing here, Jisoo from BLACKPINK, J-Hope from BTS, all these members are kind of taking the chance now to make sure that they make their impact as soloists.
Right.
Let's look at them in more detail, though. So BTS member J-Hope has released his digital single, Sweet Dreams, which I absolutely love, to be honest with you. His first song since his return from mandatory military service. What's the song like, and how is it being received, do you think?
Yeah, this one was really cool. And I have to give a big shout out, especially to J-Hope, for going with an all English release. I don't think we've ever seen that from him specifically like this. So I got to see J-Hope as he kicked off the US tour, or rather the US leg of his world tour in Brooklyn just a couple of days ago. And this song really hit in a big way. It's very feel good. It has a really sweet melody to it. Miguel, who's the featured artist on it, it's a really great R&B kind of wonderkind songbird. So he has these really nice vocals on there. It's a really nice fit for someone like J-Hope, who has, a very, he can go really intense, he can get dark, he can get so aggressive. He can also be really sweet and really lovely with his deliveries. So it's kind of nice to see the sunny side of J-Hope come out as the sun is coming out more.
Right, the song is very sweet and dreamy, and so is the music video. Now, Jeff, let's move on to a female artist. We talked about her earlier. Walter talked about her achievements. Jennie from BLACKPINK. She just released her first full-length studio album this month. So she made a transformation from her BLACKPINK image with this album. So how has it been received? Especially, there were some positive reviews overseas. And also, how do you describe Jennie's new music style, and what's so special about this album?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I'm really, really impressed with this album. I think Jennie did a great job, not only just in, finally putting out this full-length body of work, but having something that really does feel like a full project, a full body of work. It didn't just seem like a bunch of tracks thrown out and, she was just trying to find a hit. We kind of, especially when you listen to Ruby as a whole, also, when you see the Ruby experience that she put out, the live show, you kind of really see how there's a larger story. We're getting to know Jennie as a person. It's been really, really fun to kind of see these new aspects of Jennie come together and really create something that I think is a strong testament to her as an artist. And the reviews are lining up with that as well. It was really impressive to see the New York Times give Jennie's Ruby album some positive feedback. Even the notoriously very critical, very difficult site to get good reviews on Pitchfork which is more so an independent music website, they gave Jennie's album quite high remarks as well. So the reviews have been very positive for Ruby, and I think it's because, especially overseas, a lot of people are really resonating with this idea that this feels like a true expression of an artist and someone who's really finally telling her story after we've known her for almost 10 years now.
Right, it was a very big departure from BLACKPINK, of course. It was very different. But it's quite interesting because all members of BLACKPINK, not just Jennie, have dropped solo albums in recent weeks and months. It's kind of strange, actually, that they all dropped solos within weeks of each other, within like at least a couple of months of each other, establishing themselves as individual artists. Now, how are they all doing, do you think?
It's been really, really cool. And I mentioned that New York Times article that mentioned Jennie's article, but it kind of took a larger comprehensive look at kind of where all the different members are in their solo careers and the ways that they're, similarly, and it's been, around the same time, but also the very different ways that things have been going. We have Jisoo right here, who definitely, played to her strengths as a K-pop artist, but also I thought it was really interesting that she had a lot of really strong English tracks on her mini album as well. You look at someone like Rosé, who not only had a super fun song like Apatu with Bruno Mars, but had a lot of, deeper kind of sentimental songs about breakup and depression, things that she went through. Lisa and Jennie showed all these different aspects of their personalities. And what we've seen so far is that 3 out of the 4 members have been able to get top 10 albums in the US on the Billboard 200. So these are really strong starts for the members. Jisoo's album just got released physically in the US as well. So hopefully we'll have good news for Jisoo as well. But I think it's been a lot of fun for fans to be able to kind of not only have the girls back and have them back on stage, but also just get these different slices of their personalities too.
Right, because even if you're a fan of a group as its whole, you have your bias. So it's really great to see all these individual charms. Now, Jeff, it appears like K-pop group turned solo artists, they are going bold with their music style and as they are targeting the global audience. So with English lyrics and also collaborations with international stars, what are the implications of these changes for K-pop's global expansion, do you think?
Totally. And, it's a great question. And I love that question because, especially here in the US, at least, we haven't had a lot of really strong like pop groups, boy bands and girl groups. Like we kind of, definitely know K-pop to be led by in that way. So it's almost kind of like when you have these artists from very popular groups who have, in BTS's case, several #1 albums, Blackpink's case, hit songs, great collaborations, #1 album themselves. When we're kind of able to learn about them in an individual way, it almost, not to make Americans sound too simplistic or, make them sound less complex, but it almost kind of allows us to let American fans digest this individual in all of who they are. It doesn't need to be about learning one person amongst 7 different people, amongst 8 different people, whatever it is. We kind of get a sense of, oh, okay, so, this is Jungkook, who is maybe, he's a vocalist, but he's a little more rebellious with a song like 7. We have Lisa here, who, might have a very emotional but very performance-driven style. So I think the idea that, soloists tend to do better in America, it's almost a bit of a strategy to kind of help these groups cross over, but also establish their artistic identities in different ways. And, I don't know what the implication will be, but I think overall these things are helping K-pop grow and get recognized in lots of different ways.
Right. I think it is really great to have more fans relate to the music, and also if you have lyrics in a universal language, more people can relate to it. But here's the big question. What about the domestic fans? Some argue that K-pop is no longer K-pop if all the music, for instance, is written in English. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's a really legitimate concern. And to be honest, a lot of international fans feel the same way too, because, I don't want to we don't need to get into specifics necessarily, but many times, a lot of times fans will feel that artists kind of lose a bit of their identity when they release songs in English, or they kind of go for those crossover records. I think kind of, the strongest artists and the strongest songs are ones where you can still feel their identity and still feel and understand who they are. But even if it's in another language, you still get a sense of that this artist is still staying true to who they are and what they want to be. And, I totally understand the argument about domestic fans versus international fans, but, we've also seen songs like BTS's Dynamite or, Apatu by Rosé be huge hits in Korea and be very strong sellers on whatever it is, the Korean streaming charts or different charts like that. So I don't even know if it's necessarily a question between domestic audiences versus international audiences, but what is a good song? What feels like a true representation of who this artist is, and how do we truly believe that they are creating the best music they can, not necessarily just releasing it in English just because it might hit more people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's hope that the fans will be embracing all kinds of music by these K-pop stars. Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for your K-pop insights today, and also all the best for your new project.
Well, thank you, guys. See you next time. Take care.
Thank you. And thank you, Walter. Like always, we're going to have you back here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.